Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1. You don't have to go far. Genesis chapter 1, and we're going to read verse 1. Genesis chapter 1, and we're going to read verse 1. Genesis chapter 1, we're going to begin reading at verse 1. And we're going to use for a thought or a theme on today, let there be light. My wife was singing that song. I was thinking she's just all in my message. Let there be light. She was singing, I can see the light. God gave me, let there be light. So in the beginning, and you know I'm reading from the King James Version. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, before we move forward, I want you to hear this. Many scholars believe that the original created, and you come right in, mother, and have a seat. Many scholars believe that the original created state of the heaven and earth was perfect. This theory is widely supported through careful explanation and examination of the character and nature of God, because sin had not entered into the newly created earth as of yet, and because God himself is completely perfect and sinless, it is easy to assume that what he created had to display his completeness and perfection. How many know that God is perfect? Am I right? He is complete. He is holy. There is no blemish in him. So here's what scholars believe. They believe that because God was perfect, when he created the original heavens and earth, then it was perfect as well, because sin had not entered into the world as of yet. So they're saying what he made had to reflect his character. Now, what is believed to have happened between verses 1 and 2 is both thought-provoking and worth considering. Jesus said in Luke 10 and 18 that he beheld Satan fall from heaven as lightning. So he sees Satan falls from heaven as lightning will fall from or move through the sky. In other words, as fast as you see lightning flash through the sky, that's how fast Satan was kicked out of heaven. But many believe that Satan is in hell. The devil is not in hell right now. Hell itself is set aside as a place of judgment, but the devil is not there right now. Jesus refers to the devil as the prince of the air. Well, what air is he in? Now, I want to appeal to your understanding here on today. So Jesus is saying when he was kicked from heaven, here's what a lot of scholars believe. He was not sent to hell, but he was kicked down to earth. And because he came down to earth, how many know that whatever the devil gets his hands on, he destroys? Name one thing in this world, one thing you can think of that the enemy has gotten his hands on and he did not destroy it. You remember when Jesus rebuked the spirits out of the man, and they were legion, and they asked him to go into the 2,000 pigs, and Jesus, he allowed them to go into the 2,000 pigs. The Bible said that the pigs or the swine ran, watch the word he used, violently down a steep hill and killed themselves in the river. The devil's nature is to destroy. So when he gets a hold of the earth that was perfect, that was without blemish or whatever, watch what happens, what scholars said that happened in verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. Because his nature is to destroy, when he got a hold of what God created that was complete, that was perfect, that had no blemish, it all of a sudden is without form. It's void, it's empty, it's darkness, and it's covered in water. Jesus has already told us in St. John 10 and 10, and we said this on Wednesday. He only comes for 3 reasons. That's to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So he comes up on the earth and he destroys what God has created. But watch this here. Nothing makes him happier than to destroy something that God has created. Man, you talk about something that makes him have a good time. I mean, he feels great about himself. God created marriage. There is nothing like a marriage that's destroyed by Satan. Boy, he's happy about that. God designed, he created the family unit. When the devil gets a hold of the family unit, come on now, he will destroy the family unit. How does he get a hold of it? When we allow him to come in and change how we view one another. Then all of a sudden, brothers that were so close, all of a sudden can be in the same city and don't even talk to each other. Why? Because the enemy has come in and destroyed what God has created. You could control who your sibling was or is, but you can't control how long you all remain in close contact. How do you do that? By keeping the enemy out of it. When the enemy comes into your world, see this as your world. He is looking to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So he is destroying things and he is happy about it. God created the church. There is nothing like this. I mean, you talk about a great victory for him. He is so excited when he can destroy a church. I love what Evan, I listen to just about everything that's said. I promise you I do. Evan said one time at a meeting, he said, man, I passed and seen a lot of churches that are closed. I don't want that to be us. Man, you talk about a victory for the devil. For him to be able to have a house of God to shut down for various reasons. Man, I can imagine he's walking around like, yes, sir. One down, let's see what else we can do. We got another one to go. So he loves to destroy everything that the Lord has created. But thank God that Jesus left on record. Yeah, he may try, but my church is built on a rock and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And let me remind you that you are the church. So in essence, Jesus is saying the gates of hell will not prevail against you. I don't care how it is that he has come against you, mother. He will not prevail. It can look as if he got it all together strategically. It looks as if he got you knocked down. But thank God that Paul left on record, we may be cast down, but we're not destroyed. We are yet still in the fight. God has promised us because we are the church, the gates of hell will not prevail against us. So you need to understand, regardless of what the enemy has tried to come against, if it's your marriage, he will not prevail. If it was your finances, he will not prevail. If it was your children, he will not prevail. If it was your health, he will not prevail. You may be down, but you are not out. You are yet here, and God still has you in the fight. I'm trying to light a fire under you and let you know that you are the church. And I don't care how the devil comes against you, it's on record. He will not be victorious against you. Yeah, you won a few battles. I give you your props. You won a few battles, but you will not win the war. Because if you go to the end of the book, we ultimately win. How many series have I seen where one team has gone up even 1, 2, or 3 games to 0? Only to have the other team that was superior to come all the way back and win 4 games straight and win the series. The devil may be up. Who is in here? The devil is up on you 2 games to none. But you are yet still in the fight. You will prevail. Cleveland fell down to Golden State, right? I'm not talking about this year now. I'm talking about prior to Kevin Durant when they won the championship. Cleveland fell down to Golden State 3 games to 1. And Golden State was fired up. They were talking crazy, just saying whatever they wanted to say, but they forgot Cleveland had the best player on the planet. They made a mistake and poked a sleeping bear, as Evan said. And they woke up LeBron James. And Mr. James took the team and put him on his back, and they won 3 games straight and won the championship. How many of us are sitting there and allowing the enemy to just kind of do his thing, and you've forgotten that you got the best player on the planet that's in you? His name is Jesus Christ. Even the disciples had enough sense to wake him up when there was trouble on the boat. Said, Master, don't you care that we perish? He gets up, stretched, and says, listen, let me calm everything that's happening in your life because this storm will not prevail. I don't care what you're going through. It will not prevail against you. You are the church. Don't you forget it. I understand brick and mortar. I get that. But everywhere you go, you are the church. And I don't care if it's on your job. I don't care how they come against you. They will not prevail. Sometimes God allows things happen to you to move you out, to set you up, to bless you. Sometimes a setback is a setup for a comeback. God sometimes is trying to move us to reposition us over the ones that plotted against us. It will not prevail against you. Amen? So even when it seems, notice that term, as if the devil has prevailed. Notice the B part of the verse 2. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So even when it seems as if all of his plans of destruction, and even with all of his chaos, when it seems as if he has succeeded in destroying everything that God has created, he still could not prevent the Spirit of God from moving upon the face of the waters. I don't know who this is for, but it doesn't matter how much the devil has tried. It does not matter how much chaos he has brought unto you. You need to understand this. Whatever he has tried will not stop the Spirit of God from moving upon your chaos. I know your life. Yeah, I know some stuff. I know your finances right now. You look at the bank account. It looks chaotic, huh? Sometimes you're afraid to even check your bank account, huh? Because it's just that chaotic. But regardless of what he tries, he cannot stop the Spirit of God from moving upon your chaos. Notice I'm putting emphasis upon the word upon, because here's what the word upon is used for. It's to say that someone or something is either very close or has arrived. As a matter of fact, it means it's on the surface of it. In other words, God is saying, even in the midst of the chaos, even in the midst of the destruction, even in the midst of turmoil, I'm not only close, but I'm on top of it. Yeah. And how many times has my father-in-law, prior to his death, would come to me and ask me to do something? And my response to him was, I'm on top of it. When I said I was on top of it, he went his way and didn't even worry about it, because he understood that if I said I was on top of it, when he came back, it was going to be done. The question is, do you believe that God is going to do what he said that he's going to do? God said, man, I'm on top of it. I know you're praying for your children. I'm on top of it. I know you're praying for your finances. I'm on top of it. I know you're praying for your health. I'm on top of it. I know your marriage is before me. I'm on top of it. Don't allow my father-in-law to have more confidence in me than you have in God. Oh my God. He would leave and wouldn't worry about anything at all, because I said I'm on top of it. God has said I'm on top of it. All your money, I'm on top of it. Saving your children, I'm on top of it. Your health, I'm on top of it. And since we are in him, and if he is on top of it, he wants us to know that because we are in him, I want you to be up here with me. And because I'm on top of it, I want your mind elevated above it. Stop thinking about what it is that you've prayed about. Again, do you trust that he's on top of it? Why are you up all night worried about something that you prayed for? We have the peace of God which surpasses all understandings. What understanding? What does that mean? After I pray for something, I'm so confident, Evans, in God doing what I'm doing, that even when it looked like I should be worried, the peace that he gives me surpasses my understanding. I don't know why I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I know they said that they're going to put me out, but I don't know why I'm not worried about it. It's surpassing my understanding. But I can only get that when I recognize that he's on top of it. I'm trying to get to my topic, but this fired me up at 2 this morning. I didn't get in bed until 3 hours up in the kitchen myself, having a good time thinking about God being on top of my problems. Not up worried about my problems. I told you guys this before. I believe in you paying your bills, absolutely correct. But I'm not going to stay up all night and worried about a bill collector. I owe him. Let him worry. I'm going to let him worry about whether or not I'm going to pay him. I'm going to go to sleep. Like Elder Goodwin, huh? Devil, he wrestled with something all night. And he said, man, he up, he praying. He never could get a breakthrough. He said, finally, he said, man, okay, I'll tell you what, devil, I'm going to bed. I'll deal with you tomorrow. Man, some stuff you just got to deal with another day. God is on top of it, and I'm elevating my mind to be where he's at. Give him a praise right there, amen? So now after the Spirit of God is on top of the chaos, he's surveying the damage that's caused by Satan. After he's witnessed the destruction and darkness brought into the world that was once beautiful and handcrafted, the first thing that God puts in place to erase the fingerprint of Satan is found in verse 3. And God said, this is the first time God has spoken, let there be light. What an interesting choice of words to be documented. We know something was done prior to, because the world and heavens were created. But the first thing that's documented that God opened up his mouth to say was, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. Many people in our society, in our circles, in our families, and even in our homes bear the fingerprint of Satan on their lives. They once had beautiful handcrafted sibling relationships. They once had beautiful handcrafted friendships, beautiful handcrafted marriages, and even dedications unto the Lord, and even in their personalities and so forth. But because the enemy, Satan the devil, has gotten his hands on them, they are a form of their former selves. How many of us know children who were loving and respectful up until they opened up their world to Satan? How many of us know of friendships that seem like they were put together by God himself up until someone allowed the enemy to invade their world? How many of us know loving marriages that were so great up until they allowed the enemy to invade their world? The reason I know that they were once loving is because they're married. You ain't gonna marry a person you hate unless it was a shotgun involved, huh? But something brought you to the altar with that individual. What has happened? What caused what was at the altar to not exist anymore? I thought you would never ask. You have allowed Satan to enter into your world. And whatever he gets a hold of. So once you had great communication, all of a sudden that's destroyed. Y'all can't even talk to one another without somebody getting mad about the smallest things. That was one time you guys were able to just be open. Oh, that's what I like about him. Girl, we can just talk. I can just be me with him. Now all of a sudden you can't say a word. That was a time when she crossed your mind, man. You were walking, but walking just wouldn't do. You started gliding when you were thinking about her, boy. You just, whoo. Now when you think about it, you stomp. You try to figure out what happened. Satan has entered your world and it's destroyed what was once beautiful. But notice what God used. He said, let there be light. He didn't necessarily immediately start a reversal process. He allowed light to be shined first. And though it seems, there go that word again, as if those who are in these and so many other situations are destined for destruction due to the hand of Satan, keep in mind that the first thing that God puts in place to erase the fingerprint of Satan is light. By saying, let there be light, watch this, God brought hope to a world of turmoil. The light served as a message to his creation that he has plans for a brighter future. Here's what Jesus said in St. John. Write this down. St. John 9:5. St. John 9:5. You can read this during your own leisure, at your own leisure. St. John 9:5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. And he was in fact just that. Peter says in Acts 10:38, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil, for God was with him. So he was the light of the world, and he shined the brightest where it was the darkest. God right now is trying to shine in your darkest situations. Someone came in today, your relationship is in a dark place. Emotionally, you are in a dark place. Right now, you are under so much, and you're trying to figure out, how do I get from here? God is here to shine the light, to let you know that there is hope for your future, to understand that this is just a bad moment, as Mikhail was singing earlier. Can you see the light? This stuff is coming to an end. I understand it's been going on for a long time, but in the words of the late Reverend James Cleveland, this too shall pass. Everything that you've gone through before, that you're on the other side of, while you were in the midst of it, it seemed like it was lasting forever. But now you can look back and you say, I don't know how I got through that, but thank God I went through it, because it made me a better me. God is going to use what you are going through right now to make a better you out of you. And you need to understand that. So I'm trying to give you some hope here. So God gives light to show that there is hope. Christ has come. He has healed people, those that are oppressed of the devil. And everyone who was oppressed, Jesus made sure that they were healed. Everyone whose world was invaded by Satan, that experienced destruction to their sight, to their minds, to their health, to their spirits, to their relationship, Jesus came, and being the light of the world, shined hope and providing healing to all in need. But watch what he does. Knowing that his time was limited, he makes a statement to his followers, both near and far, that we must take to heart if we are going to impact this world in the same manner. Matthew 5 and 14, the A part, Matthew 5 and 14a, it says, yeah, I know I'm getting ready to leave, but now ye are the light of the world. Now that Jesus is gone, he expects you, me, us to be the light of the world. Here's the problem. This is why we cannot shine. It's because we are too busy being in darkness ourselves. Some of us are so blinded by what it is that's going on with us, we don't see that there are other people that need to be in the light of our presence. Sometimes people they're walking in a light, and then how many of us, when we get around them, we become a solar eclipse, and we block out the light that once shined in their lives. But I'm trying to challenge you today. Yeah, I know it's tough for you. Yeah, I know you've been going through, but God is telling you, listen, you need to take your place and be the light of this world. Jesus is not going to come back and to walk around in the flesh anymore. I'm letting you know that right now. This is why he left us here to be the light of the world. When he comes back now, he's coming back for a church without a spot, wrinkle, or blemish, or any such thing. He's coming to establish his kingdom. But that kingdom is only for those individuals who are the light of the world. Are you the light? Ye are the light of the world. And he expects us to shine. We are to shine to those fathers. We are to shine and to show the Father's love to all who are in need. The family unit that needs to see how a family unit should be cannot see the light of your family unit if it's not shining. The little family, the marriage that sits in darkness, cannot see the way a marriage should be without the light of your marriage shining. Most importantly, the person whose life seems to be completely destroyed by the devil cannot see that there is hope for a brighter future without the light of God's love shining through you. It's time for you to shine. You want to know what the issue is in our society? Why there is so much darkness, why there is so much chaos, why there are so many individuals walking around that are blinded? It's because we are not shining. Too often they look at us, and where there is a 100-watt bulb needed, we got a 10-watt. We're at 75. We're not shining the brightest. And it's because we need to tweak the way that we are positioned in him. How many times have I seen the professor come in, and I'm not going to mess with electricity at all, but him come in and he makes some adjustments when a light is not shining in order to get the wire right to make the connection okay, and then the light comes on. Sometimes we're not shining because we need to check our connection. Sometimes we're not connected to the Father as fastly as we need to be. And as a result, when a light is needed, we're unable to provide it. So I'm going to leave you with this here. I preached out. You've shouted. Now you're thinking, I'm warm, I'm sweating. This is it. Matthew 5:16. Matthew 5:16 is what I'm leaving you with. Let your light so shine. Now you're not just shining it and don't no one see it, but you shine it before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Jesus has called us light. So let's go out, watch this here, and blind the world with our good works. We need to be shining so in how we treat people that people almost have to put on shades just to see all of the good that we're doing. They're able to see you maintain your composure even after they curse you out. They're able to see you still be nice to them and you know that they're wrong. Jesus called Judas friend. You would have been looking at, don't tell me you wouldn't be squinching at his light like you had shades on. Friend. You know what that man is up to? But he still blinded the world with the light that was in him. Let's go out this week and blind the world doing good deeds, not only out in the world. Let's first start at home. When you go home, your husband should see a different you. You should be so nice to him, he almost had to wipe his eyes out. Who are you and what have you done with Nita? Your wife should see a different you. Ooh, you're so nice. What are you up to? No, this is just the new me. Because I've decided to allow my light to shine right here in the home first. How many know that there are some areas in our homes that need more lighting than the others? Our pantry was not even wired for a light bulb. But we needed one so bad. Guess what Mikhail did? She went out and found a light switch that when you turn it on, it'll illuminate light in there just so we can see what's going on. What's in your home? What area is in your life that's not even wired for a light bulb? God is saying, man, go out and make a light. If you can't find a light, watch this, be the light. You start changing, and watch this here. When she turn the light on, man, not only did she change me going in there, man, my little boy go in with no problem. He able to go in and find whatever he want to go in. What did that do? The light made that room inviting. Does the light in you make your personality inviting? Go out, be the light. Your children should want to be around you. Your husband should want to be around you. Your grandchildren don't even want to sit on your grandchildren don't even want to sit on your lap. Now, how much rather play with the dog? As opposed to being your grandchildren don't even want to be around you. You need to check your light. Because Jesus' light drew individuals. I'm saying this here, we're praying. We had a power outage. Maybe I think last week the power went out. And Emily was asleep when the power went out. But immediately when the lights went out, my little boy stood up in his bed and called. I guess it's him calling his mom. So he knew she was going to come. Me personally, bruh, deal with it, please. I tell her all the time, I'm going to let that man cry. He can sleep throughout the day at any time. I got to work, man. So, dude, please. But anyway, she went in there. And we brought him in there with us. So The power stayed off for so long, Mother, I decided to go downstairs because it was out in the entire neighborhood. Professor already know how I am when the lights are on. So when the lights are off, I'm from the hood, y'all. I got to understand this here now. I'm watching everything, okay? I don't leave my blinds open out. No. I'm from the hood, okay? Little Ray, little Nuck, all them right. For some reason, I can see them in the shadows. Other people see demons. I see thugs, okay? So I go downstairs and I said, well, I'm just going to stay down here just in case something go down or whatever the case. I don't know. Y'all got to pray for me. I don't know. So, right. But I wanted to make sure that if anybody came in, I dealt with them first. They saw me first. So while I'm downstairs, I have a flashlight. And I had the flashlight shooting straight up in the air so it can illuminate the room. And so I fell asleep because I was going to start reading. But I fell asleep with the light on. While I was asleep, Emily got up. That's the part that got me. When she got up, she didn't know the power was off, but her TV was off because she'll go to sleep watching Gigi, God's Little Princess, whatever. So she wakes up and she sees nothing. But she feels around, and Mother, watch this. This is what got me. She didn't know what had happened, but she saw the light downstairs. And the light drew her to her Father. The light in you in this dark world should draw others to your Father. You need to shine so that when people can't see their way in their lives, they don't know what to do. I'm so perplexed, I don't know what to do. They're able to come across you and the light in you points them to your Father. Let your light so shine before men that they may see not just God's, your good works. And then they will glorify your Father which is in heaven. Go and be the light. Did you receive God's word? Clap your hands and give him praise.